Yep, here we go.
Heather's getting ready to drive the coach. Now, Heather, you've driven the coach before, but what is your experience in driving a Prevost?
Straight only. I've never turned it, so you guys are all going to go on the first day that I actually turn the steering wheels.
Highway only's been her mileage to date. She's probably got almost 1,000 miles under her belt, believe it or not, but it's all been straight miles, cruise control. She's a capable driver.
I got the Monaco.
She's driven some tight corners, but this will be a first, so you guys get to ride along for the day one.
I hope you can bleep out all the things if I have some expletives, but try to keep it G-rated.
We'll definitely keep it G-rated for the folks on YouTube, but this could get a little stressful here, folks.
Yeah,
so,
especially husband-wife.
Yeah.
Son of a...
and when I thought they couldn't get any cooler from showing us how they dump their tanks, now we're going to go through the most stressful part of Prevost ownership and see how this goes here. So,
Learn to drive. All right,
All right, you're at it, Heather.
Here
Fire it up.
Fire it up. Brake on. I'm in neutral. My
Yeah.
and
Key
my
on, just to
key
make
is
sure.
on, and my what do you call this? The emergency brake is on. So here we
Yes.
go.
Okay, check your air pressures. Make sure everything's up.
Seat belts, everybody.
Gauge is on your right. You've got your two primary tanks,
Okay.
and then your auxiliary. Your auxiliary's up. You're up at well over 110 psi.
I'm ready to go.
You are ready to go, Heather.
All right. Drive.
so much acceleration. Like it definitely.
Yeah, Heather tends to drive her vehicles like a light switch. It's either on or off, so I'm a little concerned here today, but I think she's nervous enough to take it a little slower than normal.
I'm going left at the stop sign.
Yes. So hug a little bit to the right side again.
Right side.
Don't worry about the tag, lifting it.
Okay. Is my tag down?
It is. It's not beeping, so you're good. And this one, you're kind of same deal. Just kind of gradually turn it with the goal to keep your right front tire near the edge of asphalt. Crank it. Yeah, there you go.
I always have to remember what you told me in that my tire is not essentially right with me, it's a little behind me.
A
So
little bit right. There you go.
I'm doing it. I don't know what makes me so anxious about this bus, because we had a 43-foot Monaco executive that I drove everywhere for miles, so I'm not really sure why I think that this one is any different.
In so many ways, this drives remarkably easier.
The coolest thing that this does have, and I am not going to tell you what the right thing is, but the retard, or what is this?
It has a trans brake, so it's a 6-speed transmission retarder, and this allows you to, unlike your dual phase Jake brakes that everyone typically has, our dual speed, I guess, Jake brakes, or exhaust brake, or engine brake, this allows you to actually slow your coach down off of the transmission, and it gives you 6 different speeds. So you don't always need 100%. You can always bring that down a notch. So it's pretty rare you even ever touch the actual service brake.
I want to point out here too, we're on a really bumpy road here. So there's a little bit, I hear just a little, but my coach would be all over the place on a road like this. Very, very minimal noise.
So right now I'm just using my mirrors. Court did teach me on all my long straight stretches to line myself up with the mirrors and the painted lines on the road so that I don't hit the ditch. So thankfully we've got great little, I don't even know what those little mirrors are called, but they can set them in 2 different locations, so at all times I can see where I'm at on the line. So I'm coming up to a stop sign, and I can use this to also slow myself down which is awesome. That is a lot of confidence right there, knowing that I don't have to use necessarily the brake on the floor, because sometimes I always feel like that I'm pushing it too hard. Freaks me out a little bit, but
No, see, you got to know you got full stopping power.
and yeah, that's kind of cool.
Go left.
All right.
Now, do you worry, like on a left turn here, do you worry about your tail swing, or how bad is the tail swing on a Prevost?
It swings as good as most other coaches. There isn't a dramatic overhang. In fact, the new X3 is a little less tail swing, I know, because of the longer wheelbase. This one, a general rule of thumb for me is to leave at least 2 to 3 feet on the right side. That should compensate or give any turn, even the sharpest, enough room to not swing and smack that pole or wall or whatever may be there.
All right, so I've done my race car duty. I've gone left, left, left. I'm gonna try and take a right and see how that works out. So
Why don't you jump up on the freeway here?
yeah, I'll head out to follow that Jeep.
Sure. All our kennels back there are rattling. All the dog kennels.
Oh,
God.
okay.
Sorry about that.
Caesar and Monkey are back at home, or?
Yes. Sadly, our coach has been in storage, so we've kind of just taken it out to stretch his legs today and give Heather a little bit of lesson in the process. Up here, just always keep an eye on that left mirror to see what's coming up for traffic. We're lucky it's a little light today. Right about here, I like to hit my signal so they know you're coming. For those that are blind on the road that can't see a 50,000-pound, 45-foot vehicle coming in.
Be surprised.
Anyone that's driven a large motorhome or large vehicle understands that there is lots of drivers in the world that treat you like a little sports car. So sometimes you just gotta kind of just let everybody know your intentions, and if they don't get out of the way, just move a little slower and they'll often dodge out of your way. Not always, but that's a general rule of thumb. So, y'all good? You're lined up? Feels good, Heather?
Yes, yes, I feel good.
Take a peek at your gauges, make sure oil temp, everything else is in the realm.
So I have some people coming up here on the merge. Is it right for me to get out of their way, let them come on, move into
Typically,
the left lane?
if there is room on the left, by all means, but I think we're good based on them accelerating beyond, so you should be safe. Yeah. That is one reason, Heather, when there is 3 lanes, I tend to like to hang in the middle lane if I can, just so that I'm not in that constantly where someone's trying to merge onto the freeway position, so it gives you that buffer zone, and as long as you're moving with traffic, I don't think anybody gets too upset.
This is a cool background with the...
Oh yeah, superstitions. This is one nice perk coming to live in Arizona. So any of you who come out here and spend the winters and where snow shovel removal is optional, this is we're kind of coming into Gold Canyon right now, which is a lot of snowbirds and people that enjoy the views. Do a lot of hiking back in here. I think this is called Silly Mountain, where it's just like a newbies, get out, stretch your legs kind of deal. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good. I like that idea.
Heather, you've made a couple left turns now, a right turn. How do you enjoy, or how do you feel maneuvering this coach?
In all honesty, I don't know really what I worked myself up about, why I was so anxious about it. It actually turns really easily, and I feel like it's just like not driving a small car, obviously, but that it is manageable. And I really like this brake thing. I feel like that, to me, I always just feel like the forward motion of 50,000 pounds, I always feel like if somebody stops really abruptly in front of me, that I'm not going to be able to stop in time. But the brake on my foot brake and this brake, I really feel is very helpful to build my confidence that I won't plow somebody ahead of me, but I do like to keep my safe distance, contrary to in the car where I can just, you know, in and out of traffic. But this one I'm definitely going to be a lot more cautious and respectful of the space and distance between me and the vehicles ahead.
All right, you ready to do the scariest move in any motorhome?
Yeah,
A U-turn?
yeah, let's do it.
Okay, keep it
All
on.
right.
We got an open left lane over there.
Heather's gonna do a U-turn here. This is that's one of the chillest guys I've ever seen there.
Yeah, let's do it right here. Why not?
This one?
Yeah. I think we've got plenty of room.
This is where you're going to see the turning radius of a bus.
So with this, you've got kind of a short median here. So I don't mind hanging right about here until you know you're going to be free to turn.
Okay.
Or you can roll it in a bit if you'd like.
I don't want to annoy anybody potentially in this group of cars that just came through the lights, so I'm going to wait.
Just to see if they're going to do a U-turn or not. They shouldn't be.
I just don't want to pinch a car if they come around and I'm like a little bit encroaching on
Yeah, that makes sense.
the turn. Right now it's me and the UPS truck. I think I'm going to win.
He is coming across.
He is coming across. I'm going to wait. See? It's glad I waited. This car is turning.
I see. So if you would have been right out here right now, this car would have gotten
I think
pinned.
she
Yeah, we would have snubbed him out.
maybe, not got ahead of me. I just don't want to be that driver.
The danger of parking here, though, Heather, is you're blocking their blind
Yeah.
spot. So I probably would like
Understand.
to sneak up in here
All right.
because that
Well,
lady.
the traffic is clearing now, and I don't see anybody in this lane, so I'm going to try to swing
There
as
you go.
much as I can.
Crank it. Okay, now wait for your opening.
And my wheels are still cranked.
Yeah. If you'll make the turn easy, just make it for both lanes to open up. He's gonna wait for you over
Okay,
there.
UPS is awesome. He just gave me the thumbs up that I can go,
All right.
so I'm going to head out
All right.
after this car here.
You're on it. Keep it cranked. And
Whoa, that was really
success.
easy. Wow.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a U-turn in a 2003 Prevost Millennium coach. This is an XL2. So, Heather, after making your first U-turn in your Prevost, how does it feel?
I'm ready to go. Let's go. Where else you guys? You guys want me to take you around in the parking lot? Like, I think I can get through the narrowest of stuff. Let's do it.
Oh, too.
You want to Superstition Springs Golf Course?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Downtown Phoenix.
So
Yeah.
this gives me anxiety, where there's a lot of crowded stop and go people on their brakes.
So you've only driven in the highways. You've never driven in the city in your Prevost at all?
No, this is the first time I've actually been in like stop and go traffic. Usually I'm just out on the open highway, freeway for miles and miles, giving Court a break, and then once I usually chicken out and give him back the wheel as soon as any sort of traffic, stop-go traffic comes through. It flusters me a little bit, but I feel now, after doing a couple U-turns, understanding where my space is in this coach and knowing my brake is really strong on helping me slow the bus down. I definitely have a lot more confidence today. Yeah, this is good. Thank you, Court.
And so,
Thank you, Andrew, for being brave enough to come along for this ride, because, yeah.
being in the RV parks and in the RV world for as long as I have, I've met all kinds of couples, and I've seen a lot of couples that are very kind of disgruntled and agitated towards each other after driving the motorhome and doing what you guys are doing. So I'm very thankful for you guys inviting me along with, and one of the most stressful things you can do while RVing. So
We're on best behavior because you're here, Andrew.
No, it's not.
that's actually a good strategy. Yeah.
That's not always true. I'm very grateful. Court is an excellent driver. He gets us. We travel a lot together. He's very aware. We tow the truck a lot too, so I mean that's just another added stress. And he always seems to keep his wits about him and make sure that we get to our place destination safely. And I'm very grateful for that, for sure.
Heather, do you have any advice for any other females out there that have thought about driving a 45-foot Prevost? Any advice for any gals out there?
Do it. Get a partner, get a friend, get a buddy, get an RV salesman, someone with some experience to guide you through it, and just get behind the wheel, learn your switches, learn where everything is, and then go for it. Don't be afraid. I've owned this coach now for 1.5 years, and like I said, no, 2 years.
2 years.
I've owned this coach for 2 years, and this is the first time that I've actually built up enough confidence to get behind the wheel. I'm not really sure why. I think it used to really overwhelm me because I used to think that it was so much bigger than our 43-foot Monaco that I had before this, and I couldn't be more mistaken. And I just want to say, usually I'm really good because what if something were to happen to Court that I needed to drive the coach somewhere, and I have to be self-reliant on that, and I feel like everybody should be able to land the plane and drive the coach. Pretty simple. So just do it, girls. I can't tell you enough how much better I feel today after having you guys with me. And I will say I was a little nervous putting this on camera because I don't know, a dented bumper could be a real issue, but I've driven big vehicles before, and even if you haven't driven big vehicles before, start, take wide turns in your little car, you know what I mean? Put out some cones in an empty parking lot, just start small and work up from that. And I think that you will be pleasantly surprised at your ability to work, to get behind the wheel and definitely take the bus for a spin.
Yeah, I'm actually really comfortable with Heather's driving here. Court, I think maybe me and you should crack some beers in the back of the coach here, and yeah, no, this is you're doing a great job, Heather. And we're on really narrow roads too. I want to point out, like, look, this is a fire truck passing us on a narrow road. Like that could have been very stressful, but
I am shocked that she chose this direction. I thought she was going left onto the main boulevard, but we'll see where we end up. This is so Heather, this is a little bit of a concerning effort because you're lucky. I think you know where you are, but in the unknown areas of our travels, all of us motorhomers, you can get into a tight predicament here because you can't exactly turn around everywhere.
From previous videos, I remember you guys saying that we can go anywhere a fire truck can go, right?
That's right.
There, see? Proof positive.
So yeah, let's grab a left. Are you going right?
Oh.
Okay. Watch your swing.
Oh yeah,
Watch your swing.
sorry, it was a 4-way stop. Sorry, I'm over here back seat driving. Like, what was that? Because the car kind of came over the hill, and they're gonna come back.
I did too. I stopped, and then I was like, oh wait, this is 4-way.
Yeah.
And I only know this road because I ride my bike out here. So this is Broadway, right? Into the...
Yes.
And folks, how beautiful is it out here? This is the Superstition Mountains in front of us. This time of year, just absolutely beautiful. When there's snow on the ground in the rest of the country, this is the place to be.
Oh, you're going tight, are you?
Yeah, why not?
Oh my goodness.
Don't go in here. Go in the next one.
This is buses only.
Okay.
It says buses only.
Except there's a car turning in over there.
Well,
Why is that car there?
It says buses only.
If that car parks there, we're screwed.
it
No,
says
it's gonna come
buses
around.
only. He's gonna have to back up.
Swing wide, Heather.
Well,
What on earth?
All right, this is the perfect thing. Like, what happens in a situation like this?
this is a very
The person needs to move.
yeah.
Do you want to go? So I've just motioned to her to back up, and she's thankfully backing up. It's a
Schools
lot
are
easier.
closed right now.
Schools are closed right now. Yeah. I'm not sure why.
This
she's
person
here, but-
may, you never know. She may work here, and she's like, what are these people doing in this?
So I'm watching because there is. Oh, I didn't swing as much as I thought I was going to.
No.
So I just want to point out she's doing a great job backing up.
She
her
is.
car.
That yes.
So you're gonna want to swing a little bit wider to your left if we're going right.
Thank you.
Oh, whoa, whoa.
She's getting out of here.
That was an odd.
It's weird.
That was very weird.
Okay, this is about as tight as it gets, Heather, so be careful on both corners.
So I'm clear on the back. My swing is good. I've got a lot of bushes up in the front here, but
Okay,
I'm going to
watch the
just take it
nose.
real
There you go.
careful so I don't scrape.
Now straighten
I'm
that.
clear.
How's your rear right?
I'm still good. I've got about 6 inches on the curb in the back, so I'm going to come straight.
Perfect. Let her loose.
Guys, you have no idea. This is way better than I thought it was going to be.
I think I'm more nervous than Heather because I thought I was going to have to be polishing out some scratches there.
Hey, I know this guy.
Yeah,
He does a great job with buffing stuff out.
If you do get in a situation like that where you do end up needing to get some scratches polished out, I do know a good detail guy. Just a beautiful day out.
Yeah.
See, I
Shocked
just want you guys
chose
to
that.
see. Well, why not? You're here. And listen, if I got stuck, there's a park, a park and a break, and then I would just get up and you would get in there and you would figure it out. So I feel like I have a little bit of false hope because I know that you can get me out of any tight squeeze. And you coached me through it. So what more do I
Yeah,
want?
true. So your choice here, where you want to go. Do another, just kind of a difficult left turn with that stop sign there and a tight approach. So,
Let's do it.
okay.
I got a little bit of a blind, but I'm on a 4-way stop, so I'm gonna just
Get
go
your
ahead.
nose as deep into the intersection as you can. Constraining item would be if there was a car there on your
He
inside,
is,
which he
and
was
guess
nicely
what?
waiting.
He is just really nice to
Totally good.
That was
See, we got some
awesome.
good traffic here.
And good
Notice how
coaching
he
practice.
stopped.
Wave at him, give him a thanks.
stop. They probably have a big coach, and so they understood what my dilemma was going to be right there.
My dad being a farmer and a truck driver through the winters up in the north part of the country, he always said, you're bigger than most on the road, so if you're just courteous and move slowly, typically people will yield your way. Not always, but it is a fact that most people will respect your size.
Yeah.
Well, that was true in the little girl in the white car. She got out of my way. She didn't know what I was doing. She probably had a few choice words, but I mean, I would have won, so.
Yeah. How many years have you guys owned RVs for? And what's the worst situation that you recall getting into, or the tightest situation you recall getting into?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I know 17 years ago at a water ski tournament in Montana, I learned a lesson on my swing. We were in a country coach at that time, 40-footer, and I must have barely touched a light pole where we were camped on this lakeside, and it was enough to crack the lens, and that was it. So I call that a very cheap, inexpensive lesson on swing. I don't remember anything being too tight. We've had to make a 6-7 point U-turn on occasion, but probably the most predicaments are due to my somewhat elevated confidence on being able to get in and out of anywhere, and that was in tight gas stations. We're unlike most. We're not truck stoppers. We tend to find gas station somewhere nearby or something that's close. We find the pricing is a lot less than it is at gas stops or truck stops. And truck stops tend to be a dirtier environment, so
Yeah.
we tend to chase down the where I would fill up my pickup truck. So Google Earth is our #1 friend. Even Google Maps now, they'll show aerial image and you get a feeling for how big the gas station is. But most of our tight squeezes have been in gas stations, and that's a moving environment where people are coming and going. So sometimes it just involves waiting another couple minutes while someone leaves a certain bay, or Heather's out directing traffic while we get out.
Yeah.
Like this one right here would be a tight spot.
Yeah, I'm not going in there.
But as you can see, there's a pretty decent sized 34-footer with trailer, and he's tucked in there, so there's always a possibility, and I think it adds to the fun of it all.
Okay, so I feel pretty good about this, and I know Andrew details a lot of these Prevosts, but I'm not really sure that you've driven one lately, so it's your turn.
Well, I've never driven one before, but hey, I'm always up for a surprise surprise here. I'm very honored here. So now I will.
You're right. Your long legs are maybe gonna have to adjust the seat, but that's all right.
Well, I know I've got good instructors here, so I will hand the camera over to you, Heather. All right. So what do I need to know that's different about this?
Compared to your coach, Andrew, there's not a lot different. The big one is this trans retarder, which you'll see and feel. It's in the off position, being up. Same thing. You've got air gauges. You got to make sure your air's up. We're not running CB or anything crazy, so.
Oh, it might have just went out.
Oh, it just turns off.
Oh, okay.
And if
So
you want to
just tap
see,
it?
you just
Okay.
tap it and
Sorry.
you can see.
So that's about it. And you see on the left side, you got your standard Allison transmission.
What's this?
That is our tire pressure monitoring system. So if you want to, basically you can see it's got our towed, which is our F-150 we tow behind, and it's obviously nothing, but there's our pressures starting to roll through in our fronts and rears. And
Okay. Nice. So,
little brake, little e-brake, and
where's the e-brake?
just back left.
Oh.
Big yellow, just give it a firm push down.
Oh, I did the same thing.
Real
Just
firm.
all the way. Yeah. That's,
Just push the yellow.
oh, just the yellow.
Yep,
Okay.
Yeah,
I
there you
did.
go.
I gripped them. around
Yeah, I was
too.
like, oh, that's a lot of work. All right.
Let her roll.
Wow, this is cool. I'm a little nervous right now. I'm not gonna lie.
You're good. You got lots of room.
Even though when I'm nervous, I'm gonna put my foot down on the gas
I was
here a
gonna
little
say,
bit
let's
because
get
I
on this right here.
really wanted to feel. Whoa, this is like a race car compared to my Tiffin. Like, wow. Wow, this is pretty incredible.
Race car is a stretch, but
Compared to my Tiffin, I'm running the 8.9 liter Cummins, and do you know what motor's in this?
this is the Detroit 60 DDEC 4 with I think it's a 12.7 liter. So it's definitely the big block.
Yeah.
500 horse, 1550 pound-feet of torque, I believe. It's a really good engine. It's my first Detroit diesel. I've always had Cummins, the 500 ISMs and such.
What a big smile.
Oh, this is cool. The other thing I really like is the air ride seat. You know, my
Yeah.
coach does not have that air ride seat.
Very true. Yeah, it's similar. Just a big coach again, but I mean, you're the best to kind of compare.
Yeah, so it's definitely much more firm than my Tiffin, if that makes sense. You know, in my Tiffin, I almost feel like more body flex, where this, like, it literally, I understand what everybody means about like being on rails. Like, it's just like, I don't know. It's hard to describe it. Yeah, if you've never driven a Prevost, you definitely got to get behind the wheel of one of these. This is
So
a
here,
machine.
now just pull your
Okay.
trans brake down. Yeah, there you go. Just pull it all the way. You can pull it all the way back if you want.
All the way down.
Yeah, pull it all the way towards you. That'll give you
You
the full,
feel
even
the
more.
restriction? Yeah.
There you go.
It's
Now you're on
amazing.
6.
So that's all the way.
Yeah. And you wouldn't even need to touch the brake.
I guess I'm going right, even though
That's okay.
That's fine. Yep.
that tail swing has me super nervous. So I'm gonna almost hit this stop sign. Good thing there's no one turning left here. But the acceleration, though, and the smoothness of the transmission, like, it's just so smooth and it accelerates so quickly. And this is a 2003. This is a so I turned the brake off then.
The only what we tend, it's my practice, and it's not by all means the holy grail or anything, or the rule. But I
Where
tend
should I go? Sorry.
You go back out right if you want.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like to coast. So like right now, I just let off the brake, let everything do it. Like I say, I never touch the brake. It sounds silly, but literally I'll coast all the way up there. And then I'm getting closer to that, I'll just maybe pull it back to 10%. I think it's 20%, but 20, 40. You can see it just tugs you back nice and smooth. There's no noise. The trans retarders are super quiet. You don't hear the
yeah, it's not as hard on the engine. I almost have to keep. I literally took my foot off the gas, and the coach was stopping.
Yep.
That's what I was referring to when I said it gives me a lot of confidence that I'm not going to go blasting into the backside of somebody.
Yeah. Well, I was always taught too. You got to kind of think
Ahead, yeah.
way ahead. Yeah. Let's let her rip.
Does it feel as long as your Tiffin? Does it feels a little
It
like
feels
you're,
about the same.
Yeah.
I treat it about the same. I'm just more nervous because it's yours and it's not mine. So.
Right, no, that's all good. And of course, you're going to get a little bit of traffic here to merge into.
Wow, I can't believe, like, at this speed, just that's where I really feel the difference. And I'm just going to get right off here, but I really feel the difference at this higher speed, where in my Tiffin I would probably be feeling the wind more, or just more reaction through the steering wheel of the road.
So here's
feel.
a good trans brake test. Yeah, just pull that back. Maybe a couple more notches.
So that's the difference too. Like,
you can pull it all the way back now is what I would do, yeah. And now you'll feel it. And then if you tap on the service brake, it'll just give you that extra little hit. It's a really nice system. I'm surprised more don't use it. I understand there is some concerns with them overheating on occasion, but we've never experienced it.
yeah, in my coach, I have just the engine brake, and I have a high and a low. So basically, as soon as I take my foot off the gas, it immediately applies the brake, so you don't have that coast period.
Right.
So I like that you kind of have that coast period, because it just feels like it's harder on the equipment when the second you take your foot off the brakes, the engine is braking. So this is just the coach is more stopping itself. And
the other nice thing is when you do engage the trans brake, it hits your signal light, your brake lights. So when you're going, so when you're coming off that ramp, or if you're getting ready to slow down here, if someone's behind you, if it's off and you're just coasting, that's fine. But as soon as you click on the trans retarder, your rear brakes will go on, and you'll see it on the dash screen. So that's kind of a nice. Our prior coach with I believe it was a Jake brake, it did not engage the brake lights.
I'm just gonna go all the way down.
And you can drive with it on. It's just you can't let off the gas, because
As soon as you let off the gas,
it'll kick it on. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and that's what that's how my engine brake is. But you have like 6 different levels of braking, where I have,
Right.
just the one, or 2 actually.
The 2 levels, yeah, the high low.
All right, Andrew. So we've both driven today. We both have this confidence up. What's next? I think we should race.
Yes. Now we need to find an undisclosed location, or we may need to go to Mexico to race the coaches, or we may need to get a racetrack to let us race coaches. But I want to work on that for sure. That's definitely in the plans here. And like when I started to worry if this guy was going to go out in front of me, it was a little learning curve because the brake is kind of here, so
Yeah.
it's definitely a little bit of a mental learning. Try to go straight here, turn
Yep,
right.
you can go straight.
Yeah. We'll go straight through that next stop sign too.
I can tell you without a doubt, though, that that this coach is going to smoke my coach in a race. I already know it.
I don't know. Maybe we should get one of Kyle from Bordeaux Coach Leasing's one of his entertainer buses and see
I think
what that goes
I think
against.
that's a good
Kyle?
idea.
Kyle, we're calling you out.
I think Kyle almost has enough room on his property that we can almost make a drag strip there. Here,
Yeah,
you
that's
can go
straight.
straight.
Okay. So it's not totally immune like to all these little. I gotta remember how to brake.
I'm running a lot of pressure in the fronts too right now.
Okay. So if you soften the air pressure, you wouldn't feel that as much?
Yeah, in fact, just to kind of help Kyle out a little bit, he's getting some pricing for me to do the 365 front upgrade.
Nice. So this doesn't even have the 365 upgrade yet?
This just has the 315s. Great tire. We're close to the number. I think we're within 500-600 pounds of the max for that tire size on our front weight. So I'd like to have a little more cushion there, which would allow us to go from basically 125 psi fronts down to about 100.
Yeah.
Which would soften the ride even further up front.
Yeah, everybody that I've talked to that's done that 365 upgrade on the steers just really preaches it. And that's the cool thing about your coach is you've got the Prevost shell. So this is a 1,000,000-mile shell. I saw it looks like it got 121,000 miles on it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, rather than buying a new coach, you might as well just keep investing in this coach and keep it rolling because it's going to be hard to replace this or kind of go up from here because you've got the right bones.
Yeah, throw some goods at it, all the cool new stuff.
Oh, was I supposed to go right there?
Nope.
No,
Okay.
yeah, where that truck's coming out.
Where the
Make
white
that
truck
right.
pulled
Okay.
out.
That's a tight turn in there. You want to swing it pretty
Okay.
wide.
Okay.
All right. So so I was able to do that kind of sharp turn there while the one camera died. So we just switched to another camera on the fly there. We've been having so much fun today that we burned up a whole camera battery already. So
The second, yeah, I'll go down to the second
You
one.
can go the second.
okay, not this
Yeah.
one.
No.
Sorry.
No,
I'm
it's
like
good.
so nervous here. There's trees and it's, you know, it definitely can be fixed, but it's not easy. If you scratch this paint, it's definitely hours and hours of holding a polisher right here.
Yes.
Oh, this is so cool. Like it reminds me, like, a good comparison I think would be just so much power too. Like when I just needed that little extra power, I'm going a little slow, but a good comparison would be the difference between a Mercedes and like a Ford or a Chevy or like a BMW kind of, or a Porsche, like that really strong,
Solid feel.
Yeah, solid,
You can
smooth.
just pull up right here on this curb. It's just fine.
Okay, on the wrong side of the
Don't
road.
worry.
Go right, pretty much
Just
you're
pull
parking
right
it
in.
there, yeah.
Oh, I gotta. Well, I still have. Oh, the tail swing. All right, we're good. I'm like so nervous. All right, Court, let's get you back behind here. I'm like, gotta let my. All right. That was a cool experience. I can't thank you guys enough for letting me drive your Prevost. This is now, how cool are Heather and Court for letting me drive their Prevost? The first people to let me drive a Prevost, and you guys got to see it on camera here. My first time driving a Prevost. So I pull the e-brake,
Neutral.
neutral.
You were set.
I'm good. All right.
Honey, I'm home.
My first time driving a Prevost, I came out unscathed. So.
See, I think it's a good day. We should go buy lottery tickets.
Hey, absolutely.